Yo, yo, yo. What is up?
What is up, Will? We are back for another live Q&A trade show. So y'all know the drill. Every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, we come on here for an hour or so, just talk some trades. So if you want your trades to be mentioned on the stream, bust them up in the chat. I see Sean's already in here. What's up?
Bust them up. I love that.
Bust them up.
Bust them up in the chat.
And
Coming.
but we'll do a little house cleaning as well. We have a video on the channel that we just released about 4 dynasty sells pre-draft that you want to kind of put some feelers out, see what the streets are saying.
Definitely check it out. And we're coming to you live with I'm gonna find some wood to knock on, but with no audio issues. And let's get right into it.
Calling it right now.
We'll see.
Hold on, before we jump into it.
My bad.
We need a bit of a state of the union, right? As Brees Hall's had a tough week. As the head of the Brees Hall committee, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
Here?
Okay. So here's what I will say. The report, and you get so many of these BS reports. Like, can we just logically talk? I don't even think I need to spend a lot of time on this, but can we logically talk through Glenn wants a running back by committee. So to create that, he is going to trade Brees Hall away for a lot less than Brees Hall is worth, a running back that's about to get a second contract, and draft Genty at 7, who's not even going to be there. So let's just work through that a little bit, the logic behind that. I think for me, there's like all these BS reports. I'm sure the Jets would be willing to trade a running back who like is very good, but is also a running back in the NFL who's gonna get paid. They're about to, Garrett Wilson's gonna get paid, Sauce, Breeze. So I understand the speculation around players being moved, but I don't know. Is anyone buying that for a second? That is going to be a logical outcome. It is the Jets, but even if it being the Jets, is there a universe where that happens?
I just love that last stream. I was just joking around. I was like, what if they just draft Gene T? And then all of a sudden the reports come out. I'm not connected to the industry. I don't know what they're doing. No. But I was like,
think that rich guy
why would you do this?
The industry?
Yeah, I'm like, why would you do something like that? I mean, at the end of the day, you already drafted Brees. He's already on his rookie contract. You just ride that out. There's no reason to spend a top 10 pick on a running back when you already have 3 decent running backs. I mean, even Isaiah Davis was pretty solid last year. So,
yeah. I have this is the last Brees Cope, and I mean, I'm sure we'll have 4 to 7 more throughout the stream, but I've dug through trying to find advanced stats that back up my own thesis, and they didn't quite match, so I didn't end up making a tweet or anything about it. But I swear, dude, Brees was, as far as like the just like how many times he was tackled in the backfield, and like Rodgers loved eating sacks. I just feel like the Jets O-line last season, coming off the ACL. All right, I need to stop. I think once I get like 3 minutes into Brees Cup, and there's trade questions.
Well, I will say, there is an art to cherry picking stats to support your argument. So
yes. That's what Dynasty content creation is all about.
Yes.
What's up, Thomas? Superflex. You have the 105, the 110, 111, 203, 208, 210. Let me know if this is a so I like this question here. What would you offer for the 101? So let me know. Let me know what kind of are we talking pretty standard? Is this a 12 team start 10 normal scoring? Let me know if there's anything unique, but just a pure, let's just say normal. Do you want to do like a tiny tight end premium?
Yeah, I mean, I think I will say for 1 QB, it's just throw everything. Not everything, but like basically throw everything. Yeah.
So it is 2 QB PPR.
Okay,
you got the confirmation.
I just wanted to put that out there because like some people, I'll get roster reviews and be 1 QB and it'd be like the top 3 picks in 1 QB are in a tier of their own. With something like this, it's got to be 105.
Because I don't think that entire helpful. I don't think 105, 110, 111. I don't think 101's even answering the phone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
so he's got
like the 105 would be decent in a super deep draft, but I think the 101. I'm a big 102 guy. I think that's a great trade back, but I mean, you need to have like a 103 at least, plus some late first
It's
to make
definitely
that
a lot
move.
cheaper. I think there's a huge gap in people's minds between the 101 and the 102, which I mean, I could see the argument, but as far as like deals that you see get done, I don't think you're going to land deals done for the 101 right now versus the 102. We've got JJ, Drake May, QB room, and nobodies. Running back, just James Cook and handcuffs. Then you have holding and rebuilding. Best player available.
I mean, personally, if you're looking to rebuild, ASAP move off of James Cook.
Mm.
Because
Are
I
you
just think
worried?
his
Are you worried at
value.
all about this selling the house contract extension? I mean, it's just like the classic song and dance with, especially with running
It's
backs
just
too.
it's a running back that peaked value and it doesn't have a Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry upside,
Mm-hmm.
right? If it was a true one of one elite breakout running back, yeah, give me Barkley. I figure I can build a mediocre team around him and at least be relevant. James Cook is James Cook. I mean, he's going to be decent, but if I can cash out on the value now, I'm definitely going to do that. Um, and just as a rebuilder, I mean, I assume this is the same team with all those picks. If these are the three players, right? If it's a bunch of nobodies, I'm not really looking to move up to the 101. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm going to just take a bunch of bodies and hope that I can hit on some of these picks. If I get lucky and like last year, Brian Thomas Jr. was falling to the 110 in some drafts. You might get lucky and like Luther Burden's actually really good, or Matthew Golden, or Caleb Johnson or whoever. Like there's a lot of guys in this draft that could hit, and I would rather just bet that one of these. This is one where you don't trade up and consolidate. You just take all the picks because if it's Drake May, McCarthy, Cook, and nobody's,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot more questions on this team than just GT.
Yeah, and I don't know
Jets
how
take
many.
notes.
Yeah, true. I don't know how many starters in this one. I know you said it's we got 12 team 2 QB. I think I'm really only pushing in if it's like 12 team start 9 and you're just like, yeah, you got James Cook and
Mhm.
nobodies, but like if you hit Genty, I'm totally fine like in a 12 by 9, just kind of consolidating as much as you can.
And you could look like maybe the 101 guys not doesn't really want a running back. Maybe he's like a Cook plus the 105 or something gets a
And
conversation
I
started.
think too we'll circle back on this one, Thomas. If you want to let me know what the 101 roster's looking like and kind of like where they're at, like if there's a glaring hole, like yeah, their QB rooms like Stafford and Russell Wilson or something, and like like that kind of context, especially when you're trying to make a big move like that, helps a lot. So let me know.
You
We'll
can shoot
definitely
that league
circle
ID. We'll
back.
pull it up on a Dynasty
Oh,
Daddy.
okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Put me to the test. Hater Maker. 12 by 11 Superflex
Welcome back.
Tyreek in the 107 for the 103. Oh, so 103 or Lad. So you're either of these. Which one are you doing? Tyreek in the 107 and a 12 by 11.
It's an 11. If I don't know. I mean, honestly, I kind of like the Tyreek side, to be honest.
Yeah. I think
Like it's
I
a
think
little
that
bit deeper.
it does, and a 12 by 11 too. I like it, and two, the 107 versus the 103 is pretty interesting. Like I think you can,
Yeah.
like obviously you're gonna like the top of the draft, but I think I could easily see it being like, you know, I don't know how you feel about like Shador or these tight ends. If
It's
it's
like
just
it's either like Cam Ward or the 103 would be Cam Ward or Ted. And like the
right,
107 you're looking at like Igbuka, Sanders, Warren. But I'd rather just take the plus. And like the plus is Tyreek. He's like Tyreek is 1 year removed from breaking the NFL. And like even last year was amazing when he played. So
yeah.
I
We had
I
the
think in most cases that's the way I'd lean.
I know a little bit of a down season for Tyreek, and I know I think there's even more worry around the Dolphins offense with
Hmm.
they just had the lineman retire, Armstead there, and then like the dink and dunk Dolphins game with
But Jonnu shares.
Achan and Johnu shares, yeah. So I mean these are the kind of moves though that are, I mean, a year from now you're smashing, like for like 1 or 2 years from where Tyreek's at, and he's retiring to be with his children. Um, I don't know. Are you where you at on Lad?
I like him, but I kind of feel like he's fool's gold a bit. Not
Yeah.
that he's can't be good, but I think he's kind of like Garrett Wilson, Olave in terms of value, where I'm like, I need to see it at like an elite level. Like to me, it's not like a Neighbors or like a Brian Thomas Jr. I'm not saying I don't like him. I think he's great
Mhm.
but if I'm tearing up off of a first and Tyreek, like to me, I mean, like I could end up with the next year's Lad at the 107. I mean, Lad went at the late first last year, so
Yeah.
I'm not really desperate to say, I need to make this type of move right now. Just because I feel like I'm giving up 2 high end shots. Like Tyreek probably going to be a relevant wide receiver too. That's being very conservative.
Yeah.
He's probably a decent wide receiver too. You're going to start him. He's a solid starter in almost every format, especially a start 11. Adding the 107, you're probably going to get another decent starter. And like, you might get lucky and you might be next year's Lad or next year's Brian Thomas Jr. or even worse, Xavier Worthy, right? Like there's so many guys. Like usually you get like a year, unless if they actually, Quentin Johnson themselves and everyone's like, ew.
Yeah.
Just don't draft a guy from TCU. But I just think that the package is just much better. If you were moving up to 102, 101, maybe it would be different, but that's a lot to give up for the 103 or like a Lad, in my opinion.
I think it's an interesting move because I think the 103, like usually, especially leading up to the draft too, and we're in peak rookie hype season. I mean, it's on the thumbnail in the stream title. I mean, I just want everyone to think about like the NFL draft is happening and you're penciling in, okay, nice, we got Genty to the Raiders. Oh my gosh, the Bears took Marion Hampton, and like I've been watching Cam Ward highlights. He's looking nice. Like, dude, that 103. I mean, maybe I don't know if you can get the Tyreek in the 107 though. So I usually like leaning into that early first and just how much value that accrues leading up to the draft. But I think it's that one I saw and was instantly like, okay, which one between the 103 and Lad am I going? But I'm kind of with you.
I do think that the 103 could jump a little bit in value, but I also don't think there's any player. Like I think last year we had like Neighbors and Jaden Daniels, and it's like once they got that high first round draft capital, that 103, 104 shot up in value.
Yeah.
I don't think if Tet gets like picked to the Saints or something, like I don't think that's going to do too much. Or like Cam Ward to the Titans, like those aren't really landing spots where those are kind of what's expected right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not the most excited about those spots.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll say about Lad too, and I don't want to sound too down Lad, because I think right now the kind of like consensus of where he's at, like in drafts and kind of like the classic ADP KTC stuff, I think he's like right around where Garrett Wilson is value wise. And I think like the only thing with Lad, and I mean I think really strong like separation metrics, rookie year, but yeah, it would not surprise me at all if the Chargers are, obviously already brought back Mike Williams, but we don't know where Keenan Allen's going to play next season. I think this is the kind of team that I think could easily add more talent than just Mike Williams and Tyler Conklin.
No, I agree.
All right, we got a 12. So this is what up, Sean? We got a 12 by 10 Superflex PPR, no 10 in premium or PPC. It's just kind of standard 12 by 10 here. Superflex. Hurts and Herbert, love it. Chase Brown,
Ooh.
Jacobs, Monty, running back room. Okay, is this just we just bragging here? Chase, CD, Lad, Ridley, Adams, Cup, Muth. What is the question here? Oh, okay, this is big boy trade.
That's next one.
Herbert and Lad and Chase Brown and Cup for Burrow, Achane, and Evans. Ooh.
I'm assuming Mike Evans, right?
Yeah, I think it's Mike Evans.
Yeah, I was like,
all right, here's the only thing. So the running back room, you're gonna have Achane, Josh Jacobs, and Monty. So this is a little bit of is this a Chase Brown fear trade? Of them,
I think this is a
trying
trade.
Out, Henderson, and they're probably gonna take a running back in this draft.
I think this is a Chase Brown doesn't have the workload he had at the end of the last year fear. And
it's kind of it's basically with this wide receiver room, I am totally fine moving off Lad for an Achane. So I don't hate that concept of it. You still have Chase, CD, and you're going to be starting Devontae Adams, and you've got Calvin Ridley too. And it's 12 by 10. You can flex. That was what I was saying. I was like,
and two, like you have an Achane, like right now, if it's Jacobs, Monty, Achane, I don't know. I don't hate it. I do think it's a fair trade though. Like I don't think it's like one side like definitely smash it. But I mean, I do think it's a good thing you're selling current market price on Chase Brown. He will go up if the Bengals don't draft anybody, right? Then his value will go up a little bit. But right now, you're selling on that value. You're also selling that Cup is going to be good in the new landing spot without Stafford,
Yeah.
targeting him 100 times.
Yeah, I think the
So
worst
you're getting
case
value
scenario,
from both those.
Yeah, I think the worst case scenario is definitely on what you're trading away draft wise. I'm not gonna like crater Lad if like the Chargers add a receiver in the draft or Keenan Allen comes back or anything. But I just think in terms of like the value in the streets, I think you're not getting Burrow, Achane, Mike Evans are not getting touched heading into next season.
I think I'll do it because I think you upgrade at pretty much every position. And then you can basically tear down if you need to or if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Getting Evans is
because like
so,
Burrow's
so
an
nice
upgrade.
too.
And like then you could probably, if you want, you could take Burrow and get like Kyler in the first or something if you wanted. Like if you needed to have additional flexibility. Achane is another great tier up. And then you can also get a young guy that actually is locked into a role versus a young guy that may be in a committee type thing. And then Evans is, like it's like Cooper Kupp, elite wide receiver one, aging guy, but he's in the same offense tied to Baker Mayfield. We know they're going to throw a lot. So I probably lean the Burrow side. You're getting the better piece and it's a shallower format, 12 by 10. I think in 11, I'd take the other side just because you're starting to get to the point where those bye weeks and injuries, you just need anybody.
Mm-hmm. And I do think too, I mean, the better wide receiver in Lad versus the better running back in Achane. I think Achane is kind of in that difference-making running back tier where I don't mind trading away a young receiver who I think is going to be, top 10 to 20 for foreseeable future.
Yeah, I agree.
What up, guy? What my team looks like. Post trades, 4 pictures of trades and live stream. Ask Canon if you guys think I made the right moves and what else you think I should do.
Yes, I saw his post in live stream asks.
Let me do this. We're gonna do a little. I'm gonna
off-roading.
I'm gonna sauce you to the next one, just in fear that my plans do not come to fruition. So we're gonna get started here, Ryan, and we're gonna circle back on you, Guy. We'll see if we can figure this out. So right here, I'll lead you off though. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Ryan has the 103, the 108, the 109, the 110, and the 203, and is in dire need of running back.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, I will tell you, April 8th, you are not in dire need of a running back. Now I'm gonna start there, but I'm curious. Yeah. Let me know whatever additional context you can give in terms of the current running back room and how many starters. Like, is this just like 12 team and you're super flex and you're starting 10? A little more context on that one. But I don't know. Do you want
at least 10 teams?
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. The 110 there. I know that's like the worst context is not knowing the 11 or 12 there. But yeah, let me know. Do you want to circle back on this one, Ryan, if you're in the chat, or do you want to take it?
I mean, I can just talk while you get guys set up. But yeah, I mean, I think really it comes down to knowing your league and how sharp your league is. Because if you have the 102, like if you know the 102 needs a quarterback or a wide receiver is set at running back, the chance that you're going to get a Hampton at 103 is amazing, right? You're going to walk into a great value there. I potentially look, depending on your team, right? You said it's dire need of a QB. If your team is near contending, or not QB, but running back, if it's a dire need of just a running back and the rest is kind of built out well, you could probably look to move one of these late first for even just like, a James Conner in a second type, right? Go get one of those crusty guys that we always talk about. It is a 1 QB start 7. Ooh, wow. RBs are Ramondre, Benson, Wright, Guerrero, or Garindo, and Corum. Okay. That changes a little bit.
It does change a lot. I will say, especially when you're one QB for sure, and then start 7 too. We talk about like production and running backs and not really caring, but when you get to a start, you're only starting 7. Like each position is so massive. Like we talk about consolidation in a 12 by 9 Superflex league. Man, how about consolidation in a 1 QB start 7? I mean, that is just...
Here's my hot take. Not really a hot take, but it's a way to frame a dynasty league that's this shallow isn't really even a dynasty league. It is just a redraft league. Because at the end of the day, like no one is more valuable than Derrick Henry when you
Yeah,
have to
Mike
start
Evans,
7.
Devontae
Yeah,
Evans. Yeah.
it's those. It does age is not like it's literally just is this guy going to be elite? Like just think of it like a redraft league. There's no reason to be like, oh, like Brian Thomas Jr. has this elite dynasty value. Like, cool. Like, let me go get all these old guys that are going to be wide receiver ones. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, like you have to, it's going to come down to you setting the right lineup. And in this context, I'm going to be looking to move all these picks. What can I toss to get up to that 102? Can I go up and get Hampton by throwing a bunch of these picks? It's similar to the first trade I think we talked about, where it's like the 105, the 110, the 111. How do I get up? It was a super flex league, but it's like, okay, it's kind of hard from the 105.
Yeah.
With the 103, you might be able to convince someone that's like, oh, I kind of like Tet, or I like both of them. Go up and say, I want a running back. I'm gonna pay for it. Because at the end of the day, like, what are you getting at the 109? You might get like a Sanders and a 1 QB. Like, you're not starting Sanders. So like, I would be looking to really consolidate. Can I take my first, my late first and Ramondre and go get some older guy that's going to produce like a Jacobs or someone like that?
Yeah, and two, the like players, especially at the late first range, like players quote unquote hitting matters so much less in a start 7, especially those early years, right? Like how often are you expecting your late first? Like obviously, yeah, we had Brian Thomas Jr. last season, but how often is a late first receiver, probably like wide receiver 3 or 4 in the class at the end of the first, really going to impact and hit your lineup in a start 7?
Oh yeah, even like a Lad or Xavier Worthy in this type of format. You're like, well, cool, like nice. I have Xavier Worthy on my bench. Like,
right.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like you really just need to get the hammers every single year because if you're stuck with like the Garrett Wilson, where it's like this is a year he's gonna be like he's gonna live up to that dynasty trade value. It's like, well, when you're in a 12-team start 10, 2 quarterback, like he's more of an asset. But in a league like this, it's like I don't want to hold on to a guy that's inflated value, and I can't lock in as a top 7 player on my contending team.
Yeah, and it definitely would have bit you with somebody like Bucky last season. I think a better example would be like, I mean, it's so hard. I don't want to go as like far down as like a Jalen Coker, but like these like young players who are just their best case scenario is so replaceable. Like instantly, okay, Coker, whoa, like this rookie out of nowhere had a 8 for 100 game off my roster. Like let me add him with somebody else to like get a locked.
I would not roster Coker in this league. Like if he's on my, I can't trade him, I'm cutting him. Like it's better to cut. It's better to roster one of these random running backs, like a Bucky Irving type or a Corum, because if Kyron goes down, it's like okay, Corum at least could be a startable flex because he's just going to get 20 touches. Like you got to be kind of ruthless. Like having any depth at the wide receiver position is useless in this type of format.
Yeah. Been seeing more mocks of Bears trading up to 5. I mean, they kind of have like the steam as far as Ben Johnson kind of already doing this to DeAndre Swift with the Lions.
He did with Gibbs. He was part of the taking Gibbs at 12, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of unique though because it was a trade back but like still taking Gibbs in like a situation around the draft where it was like maybe the Lions would take Bijan. Love how it worked out, obviously. Go Lions.
That was such a funny draft. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're messing up the value so bad," and it's like actually they just hit on all these picks.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not. No one's worried about the value if Gibbs is like top 10 running back in the league.
Yeah. You got Guy set up.
Yes. Here we go. We'll go to Guy. Wow. A lot of faith Jeremy had in Will there to have this ready and able to pull up, and I came through. Shout out to me. So we've got Guy here. We are in for a moment. We're in the live stream Ask channel. So for everyone in the stream, we are able to pull up questions that you put in here on the stream. So like, yes, I'm going to pull up because there's screenshots in here and Guy had referenced it and I didn't have the time to set up beforehand. But even leading up to the streams, Monday, Tuesday, earlier in the day before the streams, if you want to put in your questions, context with the team, I'm able to pull it up and have it queued up and ready. So maybe if you're not even able to join the streams, you can still watch back and see these. So I believe I'll pull this up here. So we've got the team post trade, 4 pictures of the trades that were made. Wonder if you guys think I made the right moves. What else you think we should do? So this is 12 team, no tight end premium, 0.5 PPR. finished second last year. Okay, so
Ooh,
we're gonna be hitting
these are spicy.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 defensive linemen, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's 3 IDP. A little wonky.
3 IDP.
But we're just gonna pretend that doesn't exist if these IDP doesn't look like there's a lot of IDP players. But these are spicy ones. All right, Rashi Rice are the 106, 12 team, half PPR.
12 team, half PPR.
It's kind of funky with the. It's like a shallow league without the 3 IDP, and it's still like somewhat shallow even with it.
I will say, like, one of the things I was preaching in the Discord last year is everyone talking about panic selling on Rashee Rice, and this is why you don't do it. This is why you don't do it, because he's young, he's tied to Mahomes, and you can still get a mid first for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean that there's like, just because he gets injured, like, doesn't mean you should instantly sell.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, I think this is fair value. I need to let me take a look at your team real quick. I mean, it is relatively shallow in terms of like the amount of offensive starters you have to start, right? It's literally start 7. So yeah. I'd probably do this. Do this.
And keep in mind, this is the post trade team. So we'll go through some of these moves. It looks like one of them was getting Justin Jefferson, but for the time being, I like it, especially looking at where you're at currently. All right. Yeah. Traded away Joe Mixon for the 109. And the IDP, I will say, gives a little bump to these picks. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly how big that bump is.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Not in a start 30 IDP, unless if there's like 30 rosters. Like, you need to have to start 12 saying, IDP players to have IDP be even a consideration.
Okay, but you don't think somebody is taking Abdul Carter before the 109 that in a 3 IDP league? I'm not saying it's right.
No one's taking that.
All right. I don't play in an ADP league, so I don't have the confidence to go back on you. Somebody in the chat say maybe, so I can pull it up on stream.
All right. I would be surprised if anyone would take that.
Still, you like Joe Mixon for the 109?
I mean, I think yeah, I would do it. I would do it because you got Breece, Bijan, Bucky. Like, if you have too many good running backs, like, get me some value. Honestly, I'd be looking to move that 109 for a future pick. Like, I don't need that player realized at the 109 because I have so many running backs as is.
I hear you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tredeka. All right, Justin Jefferson for AJ Brown in the 106.
I'm so stupid. I might take the Abdul Carter at the 102. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. What's the next one?
All right, we got
AJ Brown.
JJ for AJ Brown in the 106.
Easy.
Yeah.
Give me JJ. Yeah.
I know, and it's I want to be a buy AJ Brown guy because I do think he is one of those elite wide receiver producers who is not like super old, but that people want to move because it's like, Philly doesn't throw the ball, Jalen Hurts sucks at passing, but like AJ Brown is still just going to give you monster weeks, even if it's coupled with some, 3 for 47s or something. But yeah, still, even with that, it's Justin Jefferson.
Earlier this week, I went on Player Profiler Now, a Dynasty Deep Dive show, which will come out next week. And Johnny, the host, was asking me about AJ Brown. And I was like, I do think he's a decent sell, but I didn't realize he is the only wide receiver 28 or older that's in like the top 4 rounds of like startup dynasty drafts in value. And that's where I was like, oh, like this is probably it from a value perspective. I like even if he crushes it, he's going to get to the point where his age will never let him get back into that elite tier.
Yeah.
And so if you could take that plus like the 106, especially in a shallow format like this, and get JJ, cool. Like I'm doing that. Like you're lucky you didn't have to pay another first. You're lucky you didn't have to throw in that 109 or whatever. Like this is a perfect deal to make in this type of league.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely these shallow leagues too. All right, we've got a 3-teamer.
Hold on. We got Guy messaged. Did you see that? He got the 106 in the Rice trade.
Ooh, wait. Do we want to combo package?
I guess that makes sense. Combo package?
Oh
yeah, we can do that one.
we knew that though, right? Yeah,
I maybe understand. I thought he got Rashid Rice, but yeah, trading away Rashid Rice for a mid first is great. I was on a different wavelength.
You were on a different wavelength, but you
over
were on board though. You were with it.
I think it's fair value. I like Rashid Rice.
Oh, okay.
I think Rashid Rice I would probably take for the 106, but if you can
okay,
parlay the 106 with AJ Brown and get JJ, I'm obviously taking that.
I got to work on my co-host chemistry. I swear. I swear. Is somebody with me? I swear Jeremy the whole time was like, this is why you hold on to Rishi Rice.
Well,
you can sell him for the 106. Okay.
I was saying.
Are you riding the fence here? What are we doing?
No. People were blowing up the Discord.
Okay.
And asking me, what do I do with Rashid Rice? Like, he was having this great year and he, like, do I panic sell? And I'm like, unless you have to, you hold him. Because he's not someone that's just going to fade away into it's not like a Stephon Diggs where it's like, oh, I can't get a second.
I'm with you.
Like, he's still going to hold, like, the floor of his value is still worth a first, and that's worth holding.
Yeah, sure, buddy. Let's move on.
Yes.
No, we'll keep going. So that ends up being AJ Brown and Rice for JJ.
Yeah.
In a shallow league.
Yeah, which I would do anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a 3 team. I didn't even see that third team on there.
All right, let's start with our hero. Okay. So the guy is getting Zay. Well, I guess we can just kind of do this one naturally, and then roast whoever had the worst side. That's usually what 3-team trades end up being, is who had the worst.
Yeah, it's a lot of picks going around anyway.
All right, so it's Zay. So you're getting Zay, the 211 and 302.
Hold on.
Basically.
So Zay for like an early second and a third, right?
Yeah, right. If you cancel out, it isn't yet.
I thought it was 3/3 for a second. I was like, wait, you paid 2/3
and you're
for Zay Flowers?
You're getting the 302, which kind of is a nicer version of.
That's probably a better.
Thirds.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would take that. I mean, you're giving up nothing.
Yeah.
You're giving up like 3 Isaiah Davises.
This is I don't see Zay Flowers get moved a lot because I don't feel like people want to pay what he probably is worth in like not a super exciting situation, but
yeah, he's like the Jordan Addison type where it's kind of like, you're like, is he really a wide receiver 2? But he has the wide receiver 2 price tag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, appreciate it, Waffle Hauser. But yeah,
appreciate it, Waffle.
Don't hate that one. Ooh, how about this one? Cooper Kupp and the 210 for Zay and the 211. What is he cooking? No, Dan, no way. So this 2J guy,
he has to be a believer.
He's a big Kupp guy. It's like, even if
we had him on stream, he would be talking about Kupp like you talked about Brees.
Why is that? I was gonna come back to Brees. No, I dude, even if Kupp smashed at the end of last season, just like, why would you do this?
Yeah, I mean, you just get the age, like, value insulation of a young wide receiver 2 on one of the best offenses. So yeah, you take that. You move back one spot in the draft.
Yeah, and I'll tell you which one's going earlier in early underdog best ball drafts right now, and his name is not Cooper Kupp.
That's our best ball expert right there.
Yeah. 2027 second. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be, you're giving up Kupp, the 210 and the 302. You're moving up 9 picks in the second. You're getting a second and an extra third for the early third. I mean, that's fine. I think you, what do you do? Which side do you like better? Do you like, I guess it doesn't really matter.
I mean, I'll take an early second for Kupp. Like, I think that's,
yeah.
Especially if you're rebuilding, like, something I'll say is, like, if your team sucks and you're sitting there with Cooper Kupp, like, I'm sorry, like, even if he's worth $100, right? I would rather have $80 I can spend on a team that, like, later that I can use on my team when it matters than have $100, on a team I can't use.
Yeah.
Like, Kupp is going to age out by the time a rebuilder is going to be anything valuable. So give me that value.
Yeah. All right.
Especially in a shallow league too.
Dang, we got Brees Hall on the bench in 2025. Is this what it's come to? But can't honestly, I have Brees in a league and he's underneath Bucky. Do you order your players by their value on your roster and everyone else said that? Where it's like you got Bijan, then Bucky, then you go JJ, then Garrett Wilson. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like kind of like honestly, I don't
Like a
I don't
depth
even
chart?
know what order I. Yeah,
Nah, come on. You gotta.
I
I'm sure you do it, even if you don't think you
well,
do it.
one of my friends always, whenever he plays me, he'll bench all his lineup until like the Thursday night
Classic.
game. So the projections are always like 200-0.
Mhm. Oh gosh, Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson should take the B Rob tag, but unfortunately, Brian Robinson was the first B Rob in my mind. We'll see if I think 1 year of him not mattering, Bijan can get the B Rob tag. We got Bo Nix here. Oh, got Bo Nix, Bijan, Bucky.
Bo Nix.
You have Brees Hall as well. So I'll kind of throw in the positions here. Brees Hall and then Guerrero, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson. You've got Marv, Coker, Sutton. Nice. Ooh, got Kyler on the bench too. Yeah, I'm a don't need to have two quarterbacks, but I don't know
Yeah,
how easy it is to move one
cut
of those guys. No, you cut.
you cut Bryce Young. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, I wasn't even talking.
Like, why
about
are you holding Bryce Young in the freaking?
He wasn't in the conversation, but hey, I mean, maybe get a third for him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aggressively shopping. These benches are shallow too.
Ooh, you got that one.
So I guess
104. This is a good team. I like this scheme.
yeah, this is a pretty loaded team.
Andrew Van
You also
Ginkel,
got
let's
Jonnu in
go. No. Will knows nothing about IDP. I'm not gonna pretend here. But no, I like the moves.
We'll have a weekly Will talks about IDP segment.
It'll just be my review of Lions players. That's the
That's
DP
pretty safe.
that Will knows. I saw a fun one from Becca. We'll do before we get into some of these other questions. Craziest trade you've ever made. Ooh, crazy. I kind of want to do embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
I'll give you a minute to go craziest. Embarrassing. Oh, what? I was just thinking about this the other day. Just a terrible trade I made. Oh,
I traded 2 seconds for Deontay Johnson mid-season last year.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
and
tough,
then he instantly got cut after dropping all those games.
That was a hard bait too, because real ones know that Deontay Johnson has like crazy good like advanced metrics, like separation. It's just only catching was bad, and then you have a couple smash weeks with Carolina. Andy Dalton's back there cooking.
He's getting like 15 targets a game. I was like, oh my god, like I'll buy that any day of the week. And then I overpaid because I got desperate.
Oh gosh, I want to find this text I sent because it'll add to the embarrassment of the story. But it is me buying Brees Hall, so I will say I should find the actual trade. And it was bad. It was just a bad process, anyways. It is a shallow league, which is the reason I did it. And
if we had a Venn diagram of all trades Will makes and Brees Hall trades, it's just one circle.
I don't want to find it, but I'm going to. This is trust me, this will put into context how sad it is for me that people are dragging the good boy's name. Brees Hall. Oh, here we go. Okay, a lot of thirds. I'm just going to remove all the thirds. Just know that I traded a fourth.
Wait, you removed all the thirds and
just
kept the fourth?
No, there's like 3 thirds. Honestly, it was just I just like to sneak in getting slightly better picks in some of my trades when I know the move's gonna happen. So just don't worry about that. We're not gonna do any of the picks, but I got an extra third basically. I traded away Devon Achane and T. Higgins for Brees Hall. All right, so 12 by 9. It's 12 by 9. And this was at the end. This was before. Is at the end of last season. No, the previous season. So this was heading into the next year.
Heading into Rodgers post Achilles, like should be better.
Yes. Yeah. Brees coming off the injury, feeling better. Maybe the Jets won't suck. This is T. Higgins is really annoying to roster. Even in a 12 by 9 when I like already have a pretty good receiver room. Mm-hmm. And I think I used the quote, I paid a lot, but when you want to get a Ferrari, I think is the car I used. You pay full price. You don't get a discount on a Ferrari is what I said. We have to move on. Oh gosh.
I will say, 2 years ago, I paid for 2 firsts for Christian McCaffrey right before the
That's
playoffs,
tough. That's tough.
and we have a lottery, and that pick, one of those picks, my own was, I think the 110, so I was like, whatever. But the other pick I had with our draft lottery ended up being the 102 this year. So
Oh.
I did give up Hampton in a first for McCaffrey for 2 years, but one of the years he was
And it's
out.
tough because
So
you're probably, I mean, a lot of people are big Hampton guys. I'm not gonna say that you're not or anything, but I know you're definitely on the high end Hampton train. Are you what do you think the percentage chance is that he doesn't go in the first? Like if you had to guess. I feel like he's getting kind
I
of
would say
that
like
late first buzz. And there's teams like around the 20 range, like you could see the Broncos and
Broncos, Steelers,
teams trading back too. Yeah.
Cowboys being crazy. I mean, I think it's probably like 40% he doesn't go. Like, I still think there's a
Okay.
decent chance.
That's fair.
And I think if he goes into second, it's like, okay, like, but I think the gap of like, if you just look at the hit rates, if any running back that ever gets that first round draft capital, the level of investment is just so much higher.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect him to be kind of like around the 20s. And if that happens, then I feel completely comfortable moving 101 to 102, picking up a decent value back and just banking on it.
And
Unless if you're in some of these start 7 leagues that you guys are posting, just take GT in the start 7s.
Yeah. Friend drafted 8 QBs in a league. What do? I think you gotta start at the beginning. You
put in a rule. You put in a rule to get rid of the QB position.
Maybe it's a quad flex. That's our only hope. This is a juicy one. And I love when it starts off with already made the trade. So you're just like, hey, just want you to know what's done is done. But you want the honest opinion. And you say traded away. So it isn't, I like that you're being open and honest about it. And it started with trading away Josh Allen. Oof. Josh Allen and James Cook. So it's a 10-man start 10, which is, I'm scared. I'm scared seeing traded away Josh Allen in a 10-man start 10. But let's keep going. Caleb Williams, do get the 101, 26 first, and a 27 second. All right.
Okay, I will start by saying it a 10-man PPR. Is it super flex? Do we know if it's super flex?
I think. I'd assume so, but don't let me.
I'll say if it's a 10-man super flex, it's always hard to trade Josh Allen. He's kind of one of those pieces that's almost near untouchable. I don't think this is a terrible haul. I do think giving up James Cook as well, you probably could have gotten like an extra first or something, versus just like a second. But in general, like 10 team PPR, if we assume it's super flex, quarterbacks are less valuable in that type of format.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's terrible. You're getting a lot of value, and it also depends on your team. I mean, if it's Josh Allen, James Cook, and nobodies, take the extra value, take the GT, take the additional first. You have the flexibility to work with.
Mm-hmm.
It is always hard to move Josh Allen though,
and I am always worried, and I don't know this for sure, but seeing somebody who is trading away Caleb, trading away their 101, this feels like a very, I don't want to say smart, because I'm basing this off of like 3 things that I understand about their team based off of this trade. But this seems like a team that's coming out of like a 2-year rebuild, like drafted Caleb Williams last year, has the 101 for Genty this year, and is like, let me get Josh Allen and I'm smashing in 2026. So that 26 first for a team that's about to get Josh Allen and James Cook for what it's worth. If it's that owners, then probably looking mid-late, and it is tough trading away Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see those trades because like the leagues I have Josh Allen in, it's just like I don't know if I can even like wrap my head around what a trade would look like. But I also know the age cliff is getting close. It's getting close to where I'm like I do need to start considering like when do we jump off the ship of Josh Allen is just a locked in QB1 every year.
I'm riding until the wheels.
I want
fall
the
off.
value, man.
I'm riding it until he's on like 2 shoulder injuries he's playing through mid season when he's 41. What up, Dynasty Rehab? Just subbed. I use the site, but didn't know you guys have a channel. I'm here for it. LFG.
Let's
Right
go.
back to you. Appreciate it. And yeah,
Yeah,
everyone, if you're not
shout out.
subbed, hit the sub, hit the like. I always remember to do that as
Listen
I'm
to our
ending
friend
stream.
Sean. Listen to our friend Sean.
True.
If you haven't already liked, subscribe, comment, support the channel.
True. I appreciate it. Thank you guys all for being here. And this is a weekly thing. I wanna reiterate that we showed the Discord channel that has the live stream ask. You guys can throw questions in. But yeah, we're going through every Tuesday night, 9 p.m.
Yeah,
Eastern Standard Time.
If it's a Thursday night and you're like, I just want to post a random trade for the guys to talk about, drop in that last live stream. We'll make sure to hit it.
And maybe, potentially, there will be other days randomly in the week where one of us is live, maybe doing a best ball draft on Underdog, answering questions, talking Dynasty. Who knows? I know that hopefully will happen soon. So definitely get those questions will be talked through and addressed, and I'm sure we'll repeat, so you'll get 2 answers to your questions across multiple live streams. So bang, how about that? Just did a trade, Big Jim here, for the 110 and the 208 for Rice. So 12-team Superflex got Rice for the 110 and 208.
This is my victory lap. Rashid Rice has a lot of value. You know, like that young guy that's putting up decent numbers, like maybe don't panic sell him for like 2 seconds mid-season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I again, like, I don't, if you need a wide receiver, I think this is a great price for him. Like, what are you going to get the 110, 208?
Yeah.
Maybe some handcuff running backs. Maybe you get like a Matthew Golden, and you're like, I hope this works out. Well, you know, Rashid Rice is probably the Kelsey replacement going forward. So
yeah, and it's I mean, I know, and I've echoed the sentiment of coming off the injury, and like we'll see. You know, it's not always, maybe it's not immediate, but yeah, I think seeing difference making production from a player makes me a lot more apt to kind of pay these prices that are cheap. So, you talk about what are you going to get at the 110? I mean, odds are it's not going to be what Rice was giving you at the beginning of last season. So you at least seen it from a player, even if you're worried about the injury.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing with Rice. It's like best case scenario at the 110 is you probably get someone like Rice. So,
ooh, my friend traded Patrick Mahomes for Jaden Daniels. Who won?
Shouts to Tristan. He won my home league last year. So
all in. Same here. Ooh, good work. Wait, is this a home league trade then?
I don't know. I haven't checked unless if it just happened.
Oh, dang. But I mean, it's Jaden Daniels. I mean, is there a scoring format or universe? And it's so hard too, because I don't.
I mean, is there a universe you would take Mahomes? Like six point touchdown.
You take Mahomes yardage bonuses for 300 passing yards. You get a bonus, and it like really is closing the warp between the running quarterbacks and passing. Maybe, but I don't know. Those universes don't exist. Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels is, and there's like 4 quarterbacks
now.
There's 4 quarterbacks that you just take and you figure out the rest. And it's Jaden Daniels, Lamar, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts. You get those guys and you figure out the rest.
All right, we think Tush Push is getting banned? What do you think?
Tush Push getting banned.
10% chance it gets banned?
I mean, who cares if it does? I mean, like no one else can do it, and then Hurts is going to just do a normal QB sneak and still score like 90% of the time. So yeah, that's true. I'm not too concerned about that.
Those thighs. Don't touch my shit. Yeah. Oh yeah, so it's talking about the order, and I know everyone in the chat knows. You guys don't have to say it. We all order based off of the value they have to us. Buy me a coffee link or anything, or just the site. Sean here talks.
We do have a buy me a coffee, but our main source is we do have a Patreon. It's $6 a month. Get ad free on the site. You get league infused trade values. I have a video on this channel breaking that all down, but ties the war in. So it basically builds a custom fantasy market for your league. So you can see how the positional values actually impact trade values. And then there's a bunch of other features as well. I recently added, you can now watch players, add them to a watch list. You can, there's a bunch of other things on there as well. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. And you also get exclusive access, early access to YouTube videos, and we'll be doing more with the Patreon as well.
Yeah, highly Highly recommend. I'm not going to do a full war breakdown presentation walkthrough right now, but I just will say for all you nerds who are writing out your scoring format and calculating it out in Google Sheets and Excel, like use Dynasty Daddy, utilize the war charts, and really, especially for these unique scoring formats, because your friends who are clicking on KTC, keep trade cut, every single time a trade comes through and type it in that trade calculator, that's how you win your leagues. Is making trades.
Well, yeah, it's like oh, like when you go there, even like you can modify things, but it's like tight end premium plus plus, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. So this takes in point per carry, this takes in Q2 QB, 3 QB, IDP, everything.
Harrison here, Superflex 12 team. Team A sends BTJ, Knicks, and a late 27 first. Ooh, a late 27 first. That's interesting.
That's Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith, lock it in.
The late 27 first, that team has to be abysmal. Like there's just no chance they can turn things around from 2 years out.
They have to have like sleeper not even downloaded.
Yeah. This guy doesn't even come to the rookie drafts we do. He just auto picks. That thing is
Wait,
the other way.
Oh, he has JJ. Okay. For a second, I was like, wait, how do you? Yeah, I was like, if this team has JJ, but no.
Odunze, Worthy, JMO, Saquon is the only running back. Team B sends Jane Daniels 102 26 second. All right, so the trade is
12 team
Bo Nix and a late first, and Brian Thomas Jr. for Jane Daniels at 102 and a 26 second. Ooh.
I'd probably do that. I'd do that because like Brian Thomas Jr. is amazing, but his value is crazy high, right? And that's just because he's a young guy, new offense, people are excited. But I mean, you're locking in like perennial Jane Daniels. You get the 102 on top of that, which is insane to think about, and you get a second. And you're like, okay, like you don't really have to worry about that first, the 27 first. And then you lock in like Hampton or something too. Like, I think that's definitely the route I would go.
Yeah. I mean, BTJ or the 102. I mean, I'm probably in most cases just kind of taking the BTJ, but I don't think it's like insane. What the hell are you doing type of trade. And then your Jaden Daniels in a second for Bo Nix in a late 27 first.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a pretty fair trade.
Yeah. But
I think you have a decent enough wide receiver room. I don't know how many starters it is. Like if it's a little bit deeper, then I'd be like, okay, like I'm a little hesitant to trade a lot of my depth. But with JJ, Odunze, Worthy, like I assume I could probably maneuver that second to buy an older vet that will produce well and kind of, guide this team to competing.
You want to go to a concert with Daniel and Pat?
Sure. Depends who.
I've not been to a concert in a long time. I'm kind of boring. I will go to like sporting events, NFL games. I love sitting at my desk having 8 games up at once, just vegging out. Insane Clown Posse. Let's go. All right, team.
Yeah, there's something about having all the games on.
Oh yeah. I need to know when Deebo Samuel has a 4-yard rush, is what it is. My team is now Caleb, Achan, Nico, London, Ladd, McBride, Rice, Ayuk, Purdy, 101 and 107. Holy cow. So this is the traded away Josh Allen and Cook.
Okay, yes.
So this is your
Walker McCaff.
This is a squad, brother.
Nico is that sleeper, like the sleeper elite wide receiver that people forget about.
I'm kind of I hear that, but what do you? So I mean, have you seen like good deal Nico trades? I feel like in the leagues I'm in, people do kind of give him that respect just from him smashing early in the season. But you're saying that he is like right on the tail of like the neighbors tier for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the guy I would go like if I have players in that tier, especially if it's in a deeper-ish league, like not like a start 9 or something.
Yeah.
Like if I can pick, a decent piece plus Nico to move back from like, a Puka or something, like just load up on that value and, if Nico does 80-90% as well as Puka, which is pretty reasonable, like all of a sudden you're walking away with an amazing win.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the I'm high on Caleb with Ben coming in too. Yeah, I mean I think kind of the most interesting part of Caleb Williams is the rushing we saw last year. Like not being like a Stroud will run, but like especially I mean you just got to think that offense is going to be more efficient. He's going to come in his second year and a lot of those deep sacks, are going to turn into rushing opportunities or just more efficient offense. So I do like
or maybe they'll do like that triple. They'll do like that triple option. Have J-Mo throw a 60-yard interception, down 3 touchdowns.
We're going back to the promised land. I'm a believer. I feel like it's a tough division. I mean, can we talk about NFC North?
It's very tough.
I mean,
well, you don't have to deal with Darnold anymore, so
that's true. True. And I'm
everything's fixed now.
JJ, dude, JJ is just like I highly recommend you guys to just watch JJ McCarthy just talk and just like look up pictures and videos of just the way he acts and him like being doing some zen looking stuff on the Michigan sidelines. I wish he was
spoken like a hater.
I
do kind of want the Chargers to just get all Michigan players. You're like, okay, like we need Colston Loveland to land there.
If Harbaugh and like Blake Corum and JJ McCarthy united, not even to
Mason
play,
Graham.
but just to be like in just the vibes. High on Rice. Regis said yesterday is healing well, positive position for coming this year. Yeah. I think that is nice to hear. To being ready for the beginning of the season, especially from like a dynasty value perspective, is he's gonna get a pass, especially if he's maybe even not full route participation if it's the beginning of the season. That as long as he's not a total zero, people are gonna be back in on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing too is like once a player is injured and you don't instantly trade him for like a decent value, like he's basically hit the bottom of what his value is going to be. Yeah, so it's like, okay, like you can just hold that for a while.
Yeah. The BTJ trade is a start 10. It is a 6-point passing touchdown. But
okay.
Yeah, it is always tough, man. I will say it's tough trading BTJ, but man,
it is.
In what universe are you not going to be able to tier off of Jaden Daniels for insert elite young receiver here in future years? Like it's just hard for me to believe that unless we have a major injury or a crazy fall off. I mean, it would just have to be injury related because it's hard to envision him not being at least similar to what he did last season.
My question too would be like, you are betting that Jaden Daniels in the 102 value wise versus like basically like Knicks. Everyone hated Knicks. Knicks did better than people thought, so now people are like, oh, he's better than we thought. But if he comes out and doesn't perform as well, like everyone's gonna be like, oh, he's like an older quarterback, like he's not gonna do like he's a little bit inconsistent. Like I think he's closer to like that Purdy Goff range where he's like, oh, like low in QB1 of like he might get there one day, but Jaden Daniels will always have that elite Josh Allen type value where it's like it's hard to there's a separate tier for those players, and it's like Brian Thomas Jr. has to enter like the Jamar Chase tier, which he could. But it's also like that's a hard tier to really break into.
Yeah. Oh, I am. Wait. BTJ or you got BTJ ahead of Nico though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I would. I mean, I think you would.
But you would be willing to tear down if that.
Percent for sure.
I got you. Okay. All right, I like to keep Jeremy on his heels a little bit. With his value takes where he's at.
Dynasty is like not a game of conviction often. Right, like unless it's shallow, like you can kind of just say like okay, you think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to do better than Nico? Sure, give me the plus, and I'll just kind of sit on my hands.
Ooh, let's listen to this one. I'd love to hear the full context on this one, Rehab. If you can let us know how many. So it looks like 12 team at least with the 112. Let me know how many starters coming off back-to-back championships traded Goff, Nico, Mixon in the 112. Got Josh Allen in the 211.
Ooh.
Oh, look at this wide receiver room, though, after. trading
Yeah,
away
that's
Nico.
the question.
Amon St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, Lad McConkey. I mean, this is the type of team that you can kind of do this elite tier up, trading away a guy like Nico when you have St. Brown and Neighbors still and Lad.
I'm curious too, like what the RBs are. Because if you give up a Mixon,
And the
like
112.
I hope you have some depth there. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think in general, like without like Goff, Stroud, Tua, you don't really have that elite locked in quarterback. I mean, you go out and get the the most stacked one you can. So I in this type of with that wide receiver room, yeah, it's fine to get rid of Nico in my opinion. But this is one of those goes back to the Jane Daniels thing. I mean, if you have one of those quarterbacks, you can get a crazy haul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't. Ooh, it's tough because I was about to do my trade your third quarterback spiel, but man, I don't know if you're getting the juice from Stroud right now, and definitely not from Tua. I still would try. I still would reach out to teams that are hurting for that second quarterback, or have those like Stafford guys that are kind of on the back end. But yeah,
this is where the ultimate QB3 comes into play. Your favorite quarterback, Derek Carr.
Anthony Richardson. Yeah.
He is free, and you can basically tear down to him with anyone. You can get Tua, be like, ooh, Derek Carr in a second, sure.
Breece Hall.
And
underrated, love it. We're going to see a huge dynasty value bump. Everyone keep hodling. Hodl your Breece Hall. When he gets traded to the Bears. Breece Hall.
I feel like we need to make a bet. We need to make a bet.
Oh no. What's the so what do you think, what are you thinking, like finish this season, like per game, points per game, PPR running back?
Either points per game or like.
Are you a Breece Hall hater, or you just know you're lower on him than
I'm just instigating. I just know the buttons to push. Right, I like Breece Hall. I do think.
All right, where's he going underdog right now? Let's see this. We'll circle back here. Let's talk about this running back room. I'm pulling up these underdog rankings. Breece Hall, DeAndre Swift, Jordan Mason, Jalen Warren, Brooks Benson.
Breece Hall, Swift, Mason. Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely be looking to probably pick up someone, but this is where our crusty guys, Aaron Jones, Kamara,
especially RB2.
Like, yeah, if you pick up a James Conner, and you also have Swift, and like, unless if I believe it was it. Who said it? Someone mentioned, Blue. Shouts to Blue saying that the Bears might trade up to take GT. I mean, as long as Swift doesn't get, disrupted, he should be fine. Mason, Warren, Brooks. I mean, Brooks, see you in 2026. Benson, all one injury away from getting play time. So you probably need one more guy, maybe a Pollard type. Like he's probably relevant, but not super flashy.
Would you trade? What are you moving Brooks for on a team where you kind of want one of those crusties? Are you willing to do one of those like straight up crusty deals?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd be surprised if you get Aaron Jones for Jonathan Brooks.
Ooh,
get back-to-back ACL tears.
Yeah, that's true. I know, but I feel like people are down on Jones. I don't know. You guys are
to me, I would be like, hey, if Brooks comes back off of 2 ACL tears and becomes a dynasty relevant running back, sure. I will eat crow on that. But even if he does, it's like he's probably going to be like a Jalen Warren type in terms of value. Like it's not like he's going to become Breece Hall. Yeah. So it's like, okay, like if I could trade Brooks and get someone that actually has going to help my team, the rest of my team's stacked. Let me go get someone that can actually produce. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna table this Breece Hall. I gotta go through some thought. But here's the thing: he's RB12 right now, so you could do the top 12. I mean, I would probably ask for like top 15 points per game finish.
Oh, you don't believe in him? You don't?
No.
I
don't. Dude, how many touchdowns are the New York Football Jets scoring this season? Okay, that's so huge in terms of like
traded.
per game.
He's gonna be on the Raiders.
That's true. All right, give me
that's crazy.
Give me top.
Breece Hall's RB6 on Keep Trade Cut.
All right, give me a top 14. Will you give me a top 14 points per game finish? He's RB12 on our good pals at underdog.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you top 14.
All right, somebody. You guys don't have to clip that. I will personally remember and be reminded of it every week that Brees Hall has 12 for 44
Yeah, we'll have a counter.
and 2 catches.
We'll have to put on the overlay. We'll put on the overlay the Brees Hall tracker.
Stack team.
Dynasty Rehab said he has a Trey McBride too.
I love that big money Trey. Big money Trey. Are you
Yeah, I mean, you really just need running backs on that team. Like
Yeah.
I would just pick up all the old guys.
Yeah. I think you probably only even need to do one right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would just go to you filter by starter value on Dynasty Daddy and just try to find someone that's a rebuilder that has some old running back that's relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't even hate. I mean, like worst, I this wouldn't be my plan, but I don't even hate. Depending on what the Bears and the Steelers do at running back, like having to start Jalen Warren, who's in a committee with, not a top 3 running back that was drafted. If I don't know,
It's
I've
also
always been a
something
Jalen
too.
Warren
You can
guy.
patch later.
Yeah.
You can always patch later. Like you can be like, okay, there might be a couple weeks where I do have a Jalen Warren, and then I figure out, once teams realize they're not going to compete, go out and buy their old guys.
And I'm sure you've all been in rookie drafts before. I hope you're all playing in, if not live rookie drafts. I only have one I do with home league, but at least slow ones where it's a lot more fun for people to, trade their old running back for, the 209 so that they can draft their favorite receiver that they think fell really far.
But the best part about home leagues is like just looking back at those drafts, man. Because like the people that like when you're watching this stream or others in the middle of April, like you basically know how the draft should go. So you kind of like, okay, like this is, or you might be like, ooh, let's get crazy. Let's take Warren one spot over, his ADP or whatever. But when you look at some of those home leagues, it's just like, you're like, why are you taking, like, why is Xavier Worthy like the 105? Like, like things like that where you're like, what are you doing? But those are always the fun leagues to play in.
We have the home league draft I have, the one that we do it live, and it is so it runs pretty quick. We only do 3 rounds, but we have a room. So it's at this guy's house, and you go in a room to like do your trade talks when you're on the clock with somebody. And so like there'll be like a line that'll form out of like, all right, you done talking to Jared? Like, all right, get in here, Kevin. We'll talk through this. And my favorite moment I had was I'm talking to, shout out to Alex. In some sort of future. So when I was gonna do Dynasty content a while ago, first initially I was gonna do it with him. He's like, I'm texting constantly. Shout out to Alex. We're in the room together, and I'm trying to trade. I think I'm trying to trade for Bijan. I'm offering him like Drake London and something else, and he's like, "All right, would you do?" I think he's like, "I'll give you Bijan, and you can have, or I want Drake London and Mark Andrews and something else." And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "No, you said yeah too fast. I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore." So the live negotiations are. I've had to learn there's a learning curve there.
You got to play hard to get a little.
It's too tough for me. I get excited. I saw Brees Hall, but -1 ACL tear.
That's true. You love your elite dynasty running backs, that's for sure.
I do. I will say, yeah. It's kind of funny because I'll do the like mercenary thing where I'm like, you don't need to pay for these guys, but I do think that they're still like just the way the running back position is played. Like there are 90% of NFL teams are giving like 2 guys a lot of carries, and even like the Falcons, the Jets. I think the Niners are probably the one team that's like, and then obviously we saw the Bengals at the end of last season with Chase Brown and I having, Zach Moss healthy, and it was just Khalil Herbert back there.
Yeah,
like those situations will happen where it's like, okay, this guy's getting like 80% of the work, but it's rare to find like 70% plus. Like you even look at some of these Bijan games with Algier. Obviously, we all know what happened with the Jets last season. Like Christian McCaffrey, like I said, is probably the only one that's like, oh, that guy was getting worked. So I think like just finding that a team that will give that workload and a running back super efficient. Like you're talking about like HM, Bijan. So I used to be Brees. Bucky's my new guy I'm latching on to, so
Oh boy.
he'll probably hurt me pretty soon.
Yeah, that's fourth or fifth round draft capital is going to pay off.
I just keep every time I think about the fourth round draft capital, I just YouTube Bucky Irving rookie year highlights, and he just looks like he's playing with college defenders. Just
Bucky was definitely very, very impressive. I will say Rashad White. Well, Rashad White's another one of those guys that you can get for super cheap. Yeah. Probably going to get like 10 points a game.
Yeah, we just Bulls just talking about he's going to have a role.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like he's been there, he's going to do something.
Mm-hmm. You know, and it's not Madden. You know, like teams don't want and that's the thing with Chase Brown too. Like the Bengals are gonna add a running back. Like yes, Chase Brown was good last season, but teams don't want to give a guy 90% of the work. That's just like not what teams want to do. They want to have they want to have a guy who's getting the high value touches, majority of the work, but they want to have multiple backs back there where they can kind of, you know, maybe not like as 50-50 or 60-40 as like the Lions with, you know, Montgomery and Gibbs, but they want to have multiple bodies they can use back there.
Well, yeah, and that line situation too is like the best you could possibly wish. They're both like RB1s. Right. Like you'd be like, oh man, like Montgomery got the touchdown, and then next drive, you know, Gibbs gets the touchdown, and you're like, okay, like you could literally just have both of them and be a competent, you know, fantasy football team.
All right, I feel like I have to do this. Let us know if there's any questions here while we're kind of getting to the tail end of this, and we'll pull through and go through them. But I have a trade out.
Okay. Live trade?
Live trade out. Actually, I did cancel it because I am a coward.
Okay, canceled live trade.
I canceled this after going through video editing on #Dynasty Daddy's new sells YouTube video. No, I actually had canceled it before then, but it is a
off a cliff.
It is a Will getting Garrett Wilson trade.
Okay.
So I'll pull this up here. And I'll pull up this. I see a question just came through. But I'll pull this up nicely. I'll make it look pretty, guys. Oh, okay. No, we'll do this. We'll do this now. We'll save Will's personal roster review for another day. Okay, I see this in the Discord here. Drop my roster in the Discord if you have a moment to review it. It's an earlier trade question about the 101. Oh yeah. So I'll pull that up here.
Yes, this was the trade.
Do you want to find the 101 right? And I'll pull up the roster?
Yeah, I can do that. I think that was the first one, right?
Yes. Yep.
What would you offer for the 101?
All right, here we go. So this is a 12-team PPR, 2 QB, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end. Okay, so no flex here. So just 2-2-3-1. So pretty shallow. Star 8. Well, Will's math check out. If it's not written out, it takes me a minute. Okay.
I think it's start 10, right?
Did I say 4?
There's 10 stars.
Oh. Maybe flexes are missing or something? Starters 2 QB, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end. I think he said start 10. I think
2 flex spots.
Oh,
we got 2 flex spots.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Cooking with flowers. Okay. Oh, so this is the other roster. Okay, so this is trying to get the 101. And the picks you have up here, 105, 110, 111, 203, 208. Yeah. Oh, and the other roster is the 101 rosters. Okay, so let's just drink this in real quick.
I'm wondering. I'm trying to recall.
So this was trying to move up to the 101.
Is he the one with McCarthy?
Yep, he has Drake May, JJ McCarthy, JSN, Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers, JMO, Trey McBride. Okay. So real quick, even before I'm going to the 101 roster, I'm thinking none of these running backs are probably getting you anything other than James Cook.
Yeah.
Wide receiver wise, after JML, nothing's getting you anything. Kadon probably not doing much, but we'll take a look here. So this is tough. You're trying to get the 101 from a team whose 2 running backs are Tyrone Tracy and Isaac Rendo.
I say what we should do is you come up with a trade and I'll come up with a trade, and then we'll both say them, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah, at the same time, we'll talk over each other.
Gotta get the kids to bed. Guys, someone on the channel definitely be back from our lives every Tuesday night. Hope to see
Every
you
Tuesday,
there.
every
Appreciate
Tuesday,
it. 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Whenever Will has to go potty, is I think what the ending is. All right, I'm going realistic, and I'm gonna cook mine live here.
Okay.
And then you can go second, or do you wanna roast mine? We'll go through mine. Do you roast it, and then you can give me yours?
Okay, yeah, that works.
I'm talking through my thought process.
Yes, I want to hear your thought process.
Okay, the thought process is, one, if I'm this 101 manager, I got that Ashton Genty penciled in, man. He is gonna smash. I'm looking at these mock drafts. I'm watching highlights. I'm like, bro should have won the Heisman. Travis Hunter wasn't that good. Yeah, especially with this team. And so, the pick you can offer is moving back to the 105. So I think you do kind of have to give him a running back, because I think the 105 is a little too scary, even for this team, as far as like penciling in running backs. Because a wide receiver, I mean, Olave, Judy, Coleman. I mean, maybe you could finagle some kind of wide receiver tier up as a part of it. Laporta, I'm not doing a Laporta McBride swap. And then quarterback wise, you could try to see. I don't know if I would try the Drake May, Jordan Love swapperoo as a part of it. So I think the realistic, most straightforward trade would be James Cook, 105 for that 101.
Man, you took mine.
What are your other picks? That's straight up.
That would be my starting point.
You got the 110 and the 111. Like, you can still hit running backs in this draft.
I would do that, or I was thinking too, like, this team does also need like a wide receiver, right? So like you could also, like, if the 105 isn't really moving the needle, something of like Cook, JMO, or like Flowers, and then toss in like the 111. And I think that would be a significant enough offer where that they're like, okay, I'm locking in 2 starters. I get another late first that can probably be another piece to fill out either my running back or my wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Makes sense giving up that true dynasty asset elite running back.
But then he can't be cooking with Flowers anymore. You gotta change the whole name completely. No, but now he's not. But then he's not cooking with anything. Yeah. So he's got to be. We'll give him a team name update too. Something like May. The Mayflower.
Oh wait, if you have May and Flowers, yeah, you got rid of Flowers, so.
Well, that was your trade. I'm not doing your dumb trade. We're doing James Cook.
Okay, actually, don't do it because the name.
Yeah, no, I think James Cook in the 105. I think that's more than fair too. I mean,
that would be my starting point.
We're obviously taking the Gency side there because we are just not super bought in on James Cook giving you similar production long term. And it's honestly, it's even unrelated to the contract stuff for me.
To me, it's just value. Like, I mean, the dude, like, if he does exactly what he did next year, his value is going to go down because he's older. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not going to break into that Barkley Bijan tier. So,
I'm a little wary. And I don't know, maybe because you can hit some stuff with this 110, 111, one of those could be you're taking a receiver shot, or I would even look to pivot, see if you could move those picks. I'm a little worried about trading away one of these receivers without, because you get Genty, you still have to fill out the RB2 before you're even touching any of the flexes, having to start 3 wide receivers. So I would get a little spooked, but it's just I just see the fall off to Yoshivas, Hopkins, Rondell Moore. Like, I don't even want these guys on my roster at the bottom here. But you kind of already doing the backup running back thing. So
At
I mean,
you're
it's a
not, you're
pretty
not an At Perry believer.
I probably had an AT Perry phase. No, I've had a phase with every one of the Saints receivers except for MVS, which honestly would have been the phase I should have had because he's the one that smashed
Yeah,
last season.
he did pretty good last year.
Same going RB heavy and keeping Cook. 1-5 could land best RB after Hampton. Yeah, for sure. I think obviously in Superflex you'll see one of those teams take Cam Ward. I think Tat will go off the board. I think Hunter's kind of a wild card. I don't know. Do you think when the NFL draft happens, you're seeing all this stuff about Hunter saying, I want to play both sides. I'm going to play both sides. The Browns, if he lands there, which is seeming more and more likely, they have kind of talked about him as a receiver. Do you think he's going to make it to the 110 in drafts?
I think in some, but I don't think it's going to be like a guaranteed type of situation.
I could see some teams.
You're going to see him.
Yeah.
Like some people are going to be way higher on him. Take him at like the 106, 107. But yeah, I mean, I think with the Cook and the 105, or like with the 105, you can lock in one of the Ohio State guys and feel pretty confident there. I do think James Cook is one of the best sells right now. I don't think he'll be replaced. I think he'll still have a role in the offense, but I just can't justify the value.
He's the fifth best sell right after the 4 Dynasty sells that we talked about in the video. Guys, check out
I did it in the previous video.
Yeah. True.
I was like, I can't just have, it can't be a one player channel.
Ooh, this is interesting. Lean's gone back and forth about Hunter. We view him as top 4 talent. May push Hampton or Tet to 5. Ooh, there's some open discussion. I don't have many open discussion conversations outside of my one buddy with Dynasty value, especially in rookie drafts.
Is Hampton going to be available at the 105?
So I think with the May push Hampton, it's we're looking at Genty, Cam Ward, obviously, and then it makes sense that Sanders is one of those guys. If Hunter goes for, do you even want to trade that 105?
If I know I'm going to end up with like Tet or Hampton at the 105, I'm probably just taking that. Like what my fear would be
you're a late first Shador guy.
Yeah, I think that's. I think he'll be like kind of like a Bo Nix, where like some people are out on him.
Yeah, you have to take him ahead of some of the receivers. Yeah.
He's kind of like that ugly like process move, and that's why that was one of my earlier videos I made where I was like, I don't really want to be stuck in that situation where it's like the value tells me to take one of these quarterbacks. It's probably just going to be at best like Jared Goff. And it's like, okay, I can trade a couple seconds and get a quarterback that is the equivalent. Like I'd rather use that pick now to lock me into something better.
Yeah. So I guess
that's what he's saying. He's saying that's his dilemma.
I will say, man, you get that 101, even if you regret it, like the draft is happening, it's just the flexibility of the 101, man. Genty.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're on the clock and you're like, man, Hampton got a smash landing spot. I think he could be there at the 105. Trade back to the 104 and like cut your losses on, the move you made to get there, because you're still going to be able to recoup, I think, at least 95% of what you would trade away with like a Cook at 105 trade.
Yeah, I mean, I think too,
if
you're scared to move, if you're scared of the 105 and there's a realistic possibility that Hampton or Tet are available at the 105, like maybe go down the moving Zay and Cook plus like a late first type of trade. Then you keep your 105, lock in a 101.
How do we buy the 104 in this league? I would be kind of
honestly
sniffing those picks out. 103, 104. If you're pretty confident, I mean, if you have got an idea where these teams are going, like it sounds like the league talks and is talking through values, especially where things are kind of pegged out at the beginning of the draft, right? Like we don't know where Hampton's going, obviously. Like if he goes to the Bears at 10, like that, he's probably not making it to the 105. But I think if you're certain, we know Cam Ward's going to Tennessee, he's going to be off the board at the 102 or 103. If the thought process is if Shador is somewhere in the first round, closer to 20 than the end, then he's going to go in the top 4. Then yeah, I would definitely be looking at hitting those 103, 104 picks up.
Yeah, no, especially if the quarterbacks are going to be taken, because those are the kind of the falling knives, in my opinion. Is like, if you don't need a quarterback and the value tells you to take a quarterback, you're like, crap. So like, I don't want, but if those two of the top 3 are going to be those quarterbacks, that 104 is basically the 102 in most leagues.
Yeah. No, I love this year, calling out that it's pretty predictable based on team needs and draft history. Yeah, I highly recommend checking that in your leagues, and thinking back to not just like who got hits, but how those players were valued heading into that rookie draft, if that makes sense. So like, yeah, it's fun to look back at your rookie drafts and be like, oh, that guy got Bucky, late 3rd, like that's so lucky he smashed there. Here's what his team looks like now. But you got to think back to, like, how did these players, how did everyone in this draft pick based on the information they had at that moment in the rookie draft? And like, how will that influence future drafts? Were trades being made at all? Is it an 8-hour clock for each individual pick? How does that impact how moves are going to be made?
That's interesting, though. It's interesting to see that like Tet or Hampton could be available. Like, I haven't seen many people say that, yeah, it's going to go quarterback, because this has kind of been a weird draft class. Like, even Cam Ward, is it like, he would be like QB5 in last year's class.
I'm kind of coming around on Cam Ward a little bit, and Shedeur a little bit too. But I think probably
not
coming
scared
around.
Of him patting the ball.
No, I don't think I'm coming around to earlier than like probably mid first for Shedeur, based on landing spots for some of these running backs and wide receivers. But I don't know. I can't be in on everything though, because I'm in on Hunter too. I gotta call my shots here.
Everyone's the 104.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like Cam Ward I would take at the 103. I think that's around where I would take him if I needed a quarterback. I think Sanders, if he gets top 10-ish draft capital, you got to take him at like the 106 or 7. I think that's the latest he can really go. And we see that every year with Bo Nix. Everyone's like, oh, Bo Nix sucks. They had the reach because they panicked, and Bo Nix panned out and turned out to be good. So like, you just kind of have to take your medicine there and be like, yeah, this is what history tells me. Even though like I would much rather take a Luther Burden because he makes cool catches and things. Like something that's a little more exciting. But quarterbacks in the super flex, especially 12 team, that they have just that value that those other positions don't.
For sure. And then Jake coming through with the Carolina Panthers game in 2025. Making it happen. Who's the exciting Panthers player that you're going to get to watch live in 2025?
Oh,
Matthew
Jonathan
Golden. For sure.
I don't know, man.
Rico Dowdle. Come on, easy.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle. Chuba's honestly it, man. I will say,
Dude,
JT Sanders. JT Sanders.
Okay.
He looked pretty. He showed some flashes.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those like garbage bin tight ends in fantasy where it's like, I'll ride him. Get the rush when he gets 3 targets.
All right, should I drop all my Tommy Tremble? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I mean, if you still have Tommy Tremble, then you need to get a roster review ASAP.
All right,
it's like Ian Thomas. I'm free. I am free of having Ian Thomas on my TV every Sunday.
Dang. Shout out Greg Olson, man. Greg Olson, he served us well.
I see those like the old pictures of like all the Panthers walking out in like Seattle, like all the Panthers legends.
Oh yeah. Dang.
And that just makes me or like Cam Newton in like the Seattle. It's all Seattle, but it's like the Legion of Boom running out of the tunnel. It's like Cam Newton like stretching. I'm just like, oh man, like I miss like feeling like pumped for a game like that. Like now I'm just like watching like a middle schooler under center, like running for his life, and I'm like, oh, like he did good this game. Like, oh god, he gets extra iPad time.
That's tough. Yeah, I will say I was sad for Panthers fans when that CMC move happened, because it just felt so reminiscent of the Lions with like Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders retiring, where it was just like, we can't give you what you deserve. Like, you deserve to win football games, and we can't give that to you. All right, we need to stop right now. We have $30 fab incorporated in a trade, so we need to discuss this immediately. What's up, Marvin? 2026 late second. That's a decent amount of fab, though, I will say. And 2026 third. 4-day Montgomery and $30 fab. So I'd be curious. Let me know how many starters in this league. 12 teams start whatever players, and if there's anything funky with running backs. Owner want to trade Monty for the 207. I would rather trade. Ooh, okay. 26 second.
Wait.
Yeah,
is it just Monty for the 207? I mean, I think I'm taking Monty on either side.
Yeah. So the late,
especially in 14.
So I think straight up the Monty for the 207 or a late second in 2026 and the 26th third. Is that what you're getting?
Yeah. Like which one would you rather do?
It is a 14 team, which makes it a little more interesting. Like the late second, if you really think that that's going to be like 210, 208, 209. But I kind of like having, like, I don't want to just I will throw away thirds to make trades happen, but I don't like just tossing them out, even in a 14. Start 9.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was like, it's a 14 team, so this is basically the 209. So like the hit rate of a 209 in a 12-team league is not very high. And yeah, I'd probably rather just keep the future picks. Because like, what if all hell breaks loose and whatever reason that is a 2026 late second now becomes an early second? It's like, well, like I could have traded away a 12-team late second, but 14-team mid second. Yeah, I mean, I would prefer just to do the 207, but I would take either. I mean, 14-team, give me Monty. I mean, Monty was an RB1 pre-injury, so
yeah, and I mean, I don't think anyone needed to hear this. I think that it was understood, but the sentiment's been echoed just kind of in the Lions coaching staff of like, we are doing this 1-2 punch thing, and I think that's the way to do it. Like, obviously, yes, Gibbs is amazing, but like, you want Gibbs to be 60%. You don't want Gibbs to be 80-90 grinder. Even though Will Sash. All right, we're gonna peel behind the curtain a little bit. What's up, Nathan? What's up, Will? We need you back at basketball.
Yeah, I was about to say you're getting
Tuesday
summoned.
nights. Tuesday nights used to be pick up basketball at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It is a half-hour drive for me. So I would so 7 p.m. So it's a half-hour drive. I could play for an hour and then rush home, shower. But this is the first stream that the audio is actually working. So Will wasn't making any chances. I wasn't delaying any time. Potentially, I will be back for hour-long pickup basketball next week, Nathan.
Maybe you could do a pre-stream. Bring out a camera. We'll see your jumper.
I got some highlights. I'll post in the Discord. Nick, take Jake. Who are some second-tier running back underneath the Bijan, Gibbs, and Jetskis that you guys would target? This is interesting because I feel like a lot of the times you don't want to pay for like just under difference-making production. But do you like any of those like Bucky, Brees, JT guys? Do you think any of those guys are like more attainable than their price should warrant?
I'm honored that you're self-aware that you're not saying, hey, Brees is one of the elite tier RBs.
Yeah, it's just I can't keep doing it. I can't keep fighting these battles.
I will say that the hard part with this is when you get to the elite guys, right? Like the elite guys have that luster on them, but like once you get to like the second tier ones, it's like, do I want a Chain? Do I want a Brees? Do I want a Bucky? Or do I want like a Barkley or a Derrick Henry? Like, do I want someone that I'm like, I know he's going to have an amazing workload or not? I will say if I have to pick a younger guy, I think I'd probably go with honestly, I'd probably go with the Brees Hall right now just because like people are poo-pooing on him. And I'm just like, you could get someone that's kind of scared. But I think Brees, Chan are two that could get into that elite tier still. I think they still have a year where if they just rip, everyone's going to be treating them like, the top tier guys. But I also think if I'm a contender, I'm probably going to be like, do I want to pay up for a Brees Hall or just try to go for, someone that might be cheaper or someone that, like even McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey comes back. I
Yeah.
didn't realize McCaffrey's above Derrick Henry on keep trade cut. That's kind of crazy.
I know it is interesting. I will say I think one of the most dangerous things you can do in Dynasty is I really like to smell out and find out what the price is to buy the older running backs who are going to
Mm-hmm.
smash. So like obviously you started Saquon, which I mean he's RB4 on KTC right now, but like the Josh Jacobs, like guys who you just know are locked in to like gonna smash production for the next 1 to 2 years. I think what can be dangerous, and I like Kenneth Walker, but I think like this area is kind of like where it can be dangerous to be like, let me get the young guy, especially at the running back position. Like
It's like
obviously
the
dealt with
Garrett Wilson,
injuries.
Olave
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, where it's like, oh, they could be that guy. And the hard part, I think, is like as a piece in a trade, like the elite running backs is just much lower, just based on the market, right? Like there's like 2 or 3 that people are like
Mm,
they are worth it. Wide receiver, there's like 10, right? Like it's like Brian Thomas Jr., Deco Collins, Drake London, even like there's like
yeah.
it's so much easier to have that value insulation, whereas like the floor falls out on running backs really quick. And then after the floor falls out, it's literally like, are they Derrick Henry? Are they a freak of nature? And they're putting up, 20 points per week. They have to be scoring crazy. And at that point, if I'm going to pay a price that's not true elite value, but kind of mid that second tier, I'm going to probably usually opt to just go get me a Derrick Henry or a Barkley and just say, they might not have the same age that, a day chain does, but they're going to probably score way more.
Mm-hmm. And what you can do too when you it's so freeing when you do that. Like I think my ideal like roster construction that's reasonable. Like I do like
Mm-hmm.
I love having a Brees. I like having a Bucky. I like having a Gibbs, a Bijan, of course. But very rarely am I able to and actually following through with getting like 2 elite young running backs. Like at the very most,
Mm-hmm.
let me just kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
fill out that RB2 with one of these crusty guys. Because when you do the things like you buy Joe Mixon for like a second and he smashes for 2 seasons, like when he retires or when the Texans add a running back and the workload is decreasing and it's he's not producing what he used to, like you can just buy the next Joe Mixon for a second.
Yeah.
You can buy the next James Conner for a second versus paying a first plus for Kenneth Walker and praying he doesn't get hurt, praying he smashes and is a difference maker versus, the value you could have retained if you just held and, paid seconds for guys like that.
Well, that's the thing too. People in Dynasty are always scared to be like catch the falling knife and like be like, oh, the
Yeah.
value goes to dust.
Right.
But like if you trade a second for Aaron Jones and then like you catch the falling knife, like it might just be a butter knife. Like like it doesn't hurt
Yeah.
when all you trade is the late second. Like it hurts when it's like McCaffrey. You trade 2 firsts for McCaffrey and then he has Achilles issues all year and you're like, well, I gave up my whole soul for that. And yeah, like that's when it hurts. So like
Yeah.
that you need to, especially with running backs, like the floor falls out so much quicker as like that elite guy. It's not like a Rashid Rice situation where it's like awful year for him, but people are still going to be given first. We have multiple trades tonight that were people giving up first round picks for Rashid Rice. I mean, he still probably has a suspension. He hasn't played since the injury, but it's just because that running back position, like everyone believes they could be a wide receiver one, but there's very few people that are locked into that true running back one. And you
Mm.
can see that with points per game too. Whereas if you look at dynasty trade value and points per game, like the running backs, it's all over the place. It's like 3,000, 9,000, 6,000. Like you can get all those steals.
And we've got speaking of running back trades, what up, Sean? We've got Achane and Chase Brown for Bucky, a CMC, and a 2027 first. This is 12
Ooh.
by 9. So pretty shallow league. You are giving up Achane. I don't know. How do you see so this isn't how you should talk through it. This is not how the trade should be talked through. But is the discrepancy between Achane and Bucky close enough for you to be totally fine trading Chase Brown for CMC in a 27 first?
I mean, to me, yeah. I mean, to me,
Yeah.
I look at CMC, Bucky, and a first. I'm like, that's incredible value.
Yeah.
Because really, what happened? Like Chase Brown probably going to have someone else. He's going to have a friend back there, We don't know if that friend's going to bully him. So like, we don't know what that workload's going to look like. And A-Chain, like, you know, his value is somewhat near his peak, right? He's had 2 really good years, but like he's going to start going towards that Jonathan Taylor type where it's like, is he elite? Is he not? I mean, what you're doing is you're buying someone high. I do think Bucky Irving's price is a little high right now, but you're buying someone people like. You're buying CMC, who is 1 year removed from, you know, breaking fantasy football, and then you also get a first. So it's like, okay, if CMC comes back, you win the trade. If Bucky has a year he had last year, you win the trade, and you get a first on top of it. So you have a lot of ways to win this deal.
Yeah, no, even it being a 27 first too, and it being a shallower league too. What's kind of, you know, CMC, if he matters, really matters in a shallow league as far as like replacement players in a league so shallow with other positions that or other running backs you could be playing. But yeah, no, I like the move a lot. I like these kind of moves where like Chase Brown is young, and so like the CMC in a first at the running back position is something that is reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great deal because you're basically selling high on like we just talked about running back. The floor falls out on running back values very quick, and you're just doing 2 for 2, but you're getting all the leverage. And I assume the guy you're trading to is like, oh, I love Chase Brown. He was great last year. Big Dolphin fan. Like, there's probably a reason that he's really convicted or convinced that like one of these players should be good. And like, you're just saying, cool, like I'll just take your scraps. But like, you know, CMC, if he has 80% of the year he had on the Niners 2 years ago, I mean, you're probably a solid contender. So
yeah, and I know, I mean, I feel like the running back cliff thing, and especially coming off of injuries, and I feel like in Dynasty it's easy to just kind of like pack it in. But CMC to me is, I mean, one, I don't want to do the whole like kind of player and like the way this guy trains. Like, I'm not going to do that whole bit thing. I think
he had that workout video.
Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, maybe you would do that with a guy like Christian McCaffrey. But for me, like his game too feels like old, you know, 29, 30. He's got some type of James White thing going where he's just like, you know, he doesn't just fall off the running back age cliff into total obscurity. Now, like the injuries, you could talk about a little bit, but I think worst case scenario, Bucky in a first for, you know, A-Chain and Chase Brown is not like the craziest trade in the world.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you're getting, to me, it's always like, okay, do I get a piece that people care about? Right.
Yeah.
Like that's where it's like when someone's like, oh, like, do you want Wayne Dale Robinson? I'm like, I don't, like, I know you put it in there. So like when I plug it into the calculator, it looks even, but like, it's not a player where I'm like, I could go to anyone. They're like, oh, that's an interesting piece. Like, you know, but with all the pieces in this deal are interesting, right? They're all like, oh, like I could see someone wanting that. So it's like you're getting 3 pieces that matter for 2 pieces. And you know, they're all within a similar tier. It's just kind of like what side do you stand on?
Yeah. All right. Any let us know if there's any other questions in the chat. You have any closing thoughts, remarks, want to make fun of Breece Hall more or anything? Or
I don't think we touched on Breece Hall much. But yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate everyone that's joined. Obviously, if you are watching it live, appreciate all the support in the chat and all that. And you know, tell your friends, tell your mom, share with your mom. And and also if you're watching, you know, the VOD later. Yeah, we do these every Tuesday night. So definitely, or not, yeah, every Tuesday night. I thought I said every night. Not yet. Every Tuesday night. Your basketball team won't be. Every Tuesday night we do these. So definitely, you know, definitely come hang out. And we love breaking down dynasty trades. And we're gonna do some other stuff too. You know, I think it'd be fun to do some like startup drafts and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And too, I mean, let us know in the Discord too of like, hey, it would be cool if you guys did this, or like, you know, I used to watch a channel that does this or whatever. Like, let us know what would be entertaining for you guys, because we're all just dynasty nerds at the end of the day, right? We're just a bunch of degens just yapping about roster construction at
Yeah, we're talking about Mostert in the middle of April.
Mostert, Madison, Elijah Mitchell. You got to drop one. You got the Raiders, Mostert. Casey, Elijah Mitchell.
I'm cutting Matson
Yeah.
because
I have,
he had all the runway in Vegas last year and didn't do anything with it.
yeah, I probably am too. I could see myself cutting Mostert come week
He's
3 of
coming
next
back.
season. Dude, I was kind of bought in on like I got one more in me, the Vince Carter meme with Mostert last
Yeah,
season. He was going
got
so
one more
late.
in me.
I was like, I know he's old,
I
guys, but what if he just scores 12 touchdowns again?
Another bad trade. I was like, oh, like
Ooh.
Mostert washed. They picked HN. I don't need him. Traded him for a 4th round pick. I was like, oh, I ripped this guy off. I got anything for him.
Yeah.
Then he goes on to have like 50 touchdowns and stuff. So yeah, I've seen it with Mostert. I have not seen it with Matson. So I'm going to definitely keep Mostert and just accept that he will retire on my team. I do not want to have that happen again.
And then here's what I'll say. The odds that you regret which one of these 3 you dropped is extremely low. And
Yeah, this is one of those
even
things.
extremely lower in another year for sure. Slayed the house down tonight. Couldn't have said it better myself. I don't think
You
so.
have a way with words.
Awesome. Well,
I do feel like Elijah Mitchell's a fun handcuff for KC though.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. Anytime
too.
too. Yeah, I mean, anytime there's like a signing, your ears peak up a little bit, where it's like, oh, it's kind of interesting they brought this guy in. They did. It is, bringing back Hunt. Pacheco's still there.
That's true. Pacheco
would not surprise me if Kansas City takes a running back like that. They're not precluded from any of this with that. But I do. It's these players that I was like in on at some point, like compared to their value. Elijah Mitchell was one of those guys where it's like, oh, give me the San Fran handcuff, come on, all day. But
I got a lot of CEH on my roster still.
Yeah, I will say, the San Francisco running back is kind of interesting, and I feel like I've said we can close on this like 4 times, but I know we talked about. I mean, they love taking running backs, and if you don't think moving Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell and not being worried about that was not just we're taking at least 1 to 2 interesting guys in this draft, like I don't know. I'm not saying you need to sell your Garendo bags because I think everybody kind of reads the tea leaves there, but yeah, I think San Fran is very much a CMC smashes and then insert running back that's getting 60% of the work will also smash.
Yeah, no. I mean, and too, I mean, there's probably no other team that's better with comp picks than San Fran. So they're gonna walk away with a bunch of 4ths and 5ths that they'll just pick up a bunch of random running backs and be like, cool, like we got all these guys on rookie deals. We don't have to commit a ton to them, and we'll run CMC into the ground. And when he fails, then we'll plug in a Gurindo or whoever the hell they get.
Mm-hmm. Now CMC got that like German
yes, stem cell transplant
transplant into his Achilles. He's good. He's smashing next year. Everyone,
I hope so.
Send your first for CMC. 2 firsts for CMC, right? Is that
he's back. He's back.
Dynasty Daddy approved. All right, appreciate you all. Dude, we'll see you in obviously Tuesday nights. But definitely link in the description for the Discord if you're not in there. Like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you Tuesday nights for sure, and potentially more than that. And check out the video that just dropped.
Check out the video, yes.
For
check out the video. We got you covered here. Until next time. We nailed the